This video is brought to you by friend of the channel Squarespace. Stick around to learn more about them, as well as a special offer they're making available through my channel. Alright, I saw the Mario movie last night. It was just a regular old screening. It wasn't a special fancy la-di-da Nintendo organized thing. Okay, this is not sponsored by Nintendo. This is a genuine take on the Mario movie, right? Saw it last night with my brother Sam. I mean, we both actually kind of went in with low expectations. A few reasons. Number one, Chris Pratt as the voice of Mario. Look, I don't hate Chris Pratt, but at the same time, I was like, I don't know, man. Chris Pratt is, I don't know about this choice, right? And then we saw the trailer with the voice, and we're like, this kind of just sounds like Chris Pratt. So already like a bit cautious there. Plus, this is also from Illumination Studio, the people that do the Minions movies. I've never liked them before. I've actually never managed to sit through a full one. Like, I just kind of turned them off after a little bit because I'm just like, nah, man, this isn't for me. But the big one, I think, was the critic scores. So basically, the reviews for this came out a little while, like a few hours before I saw it. And it's like, it was at like 48% on Rotten Tomatoes when I went into the cinema. And I was like, oh shit, man, what's happened here? Like, that's pretty bad. Like, imagine like 100 critics in the room and 50% of them are like, nah, this is shit. Like, imagine a game that came out today and it gets like 50 on Open, 48 on Open Critic. Do you know what I mean? Like, imagine a Mario game that gets 48 on Open Critic. You'd be like, what the hell happened? So I was like naturally quite cautious going in. We sat there, watched the movie. It's like an hour and 20 minutes. I think it's kind of short, which is a good thing. Just like, you know, keeps moving. And as soon as it finished, my brother turned to me and he was like, dude, that was fantastic. And I'm like, I know, right? That was fantastic. I absolutely loved the Mario movie. I would not have anticipated that I would love it as much as I did, but I really loved the Mario movie. And I am kind of surprised now to see these critic scores because I'm like, how could you hate on this movie? I just like, there's some things to not enjoy about it for sure, but on the whole, like, it's a good film, you know, I think. So look, basically background to this, Mario played by Chris Pratt and his brother played by Charlie Day. They are two down on their luck plumbers in Brooklyn, and a series of unfortunate events leads them to, you know, get spirited away to the Mushroom Kingdom, right? There they meet Toad, who is played by Keegan-Michael Kay, and they meet Princess Peach, who is played by Anna Taylor-Joy, and they meet Donkey Kong, who is played by Seth Rogen, and they all have to go on a big adventure to defeat Bowser, who is played by none other than Jack Black. Okay, so that's the premise. Let's talk about the voice work first, because that obviously is like the big question mark that everyone had. Chris Pratt in particular, everyone was like, as I said at the start, I don't know, man. But I gotta say, Chris Pratt did a good job. He really did. He just had like a Brooklyn accent that he was rocking for most of the movie. He sounded just fine, but then he would absolutely bust out the Mario Yahoo! Like, he would do the things, he would say the lines and with the right intonation, and it would work, and it wouldn't feel cringe or forced. It would actually work, and I think overall he did a great job, and I'm so surprised about that. I really was like, how is this gonna work? But nah, man, to his full credit, Chris Pratt absolutely was a worthwhile Mario. Charlie Day is the voice of Luigi. Incredible. Amazing, fantastic. There are rumors circulating that there's going to be a Luigi's Mansion movie. I really hope that's the case because his version of Luigi was so pitch perfect, just funny and sort of nervous and just, oh god, it was fantastic. I think he was probably the best of the whole lot. Anna Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach was a really good performance actually because she really sort of deepened, obviously the writing did it as well, but she as a performer really deepened the character. Princess Peach in the games is, oh Mario, I have baked a cake for you kind of thing, right? Whereas here, she's like a proper person and she's a strong, courageous princess who leads her toad people. And, you know, she does a really great job in that role. So definitely love that as well. Keegan-Michael Kay as Toad, crushed it. Just so much energy, so over the top. Every scene he was in, loved him. Jack Black, man, whoa, like just, it is very Jack Black. He is totally, it's unmistakably him. You can hear it at all times. But the way he's able to oscillate between being really terrifying as like Bowser when he's doing his evil Bowser thing, and this other side of Bowser where he's quite sort of like cute and comedic and vulnerable, the way that Jack Black is able to move between those two is so good. He'll do that in just like a split second. So brilliant performance. Plus there are some musical numbers and yeah, it does sound just like a Tenacious D. but I'm 100% okay with that. So loved it. Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. That part, not good, unfortunately. That's like probably my biggest criticism of this whole film. Seth Rogen is just the voice of Seth Rogen. That's it. That's it. That really is it. And he's playing Donkey Kong. He really should have been more Kong. Like, he really should have. There's a way to do like a monkey voice or some monkey sounds at least or something. But like, you know how I was saying Chris Pratt does the whole like, oh, you know, I'm a Mario. Hey, woohoo. He does that. Seth Rogen doesn't do anything like that for Donkey Kong. And it's weird and it's not good. So it's a shame because you kind of imagined how Seth Rogen could have done that and really nailed it, but he doesn't. And I just think it's a really wasted opportunity. And yeah, that's like the one really bummer aspect of this film, I think. Where the film is getting beat up the most by the critics is in the plot department. A lot of the critics are like, this is just phoned in, one-dimensional garbage. There's like no plot here whatsoever. Yeah, partly I agree with that. I mean, look, it's not reaching for much. But then again, like, it's Mario, man. Like, Mario's never been about the story. It's like Mario has to save the princess. That's it. That's been the story for 35 years, okay? And that's the same story here. I mean, yeah, like, it's not shooting the moon on that stuff. But at the same time, I still think it's doing some things. The emotional heart of the story is Mario and Luigi, their relationship as brothers, but also as people themselves. And they need to sort of like find their courage as they are apart in certain circumstances, but they also need to rely on this brotherly bond that they've had forever. And it's really beautiful to watch. Some of the moments, which I won't spoil, are just great and just really made you kind of like feel, I don't know, I felt things in those moments. So I think this film did find some emotional core to cling to. I was invested in the story a little bit. I wasn't looking for a drastic reinterpretation of the Mario characters, whatever else. I was just like, just give me a fun Mario movie, okay? And it did that. So I was fine with that. But sure, I agree, there's not a lot of plot there, absolutely. Where the film really shines is in its sequences, right? And there's all sorts of these that are pulled directly from the game. So we're talking 2D platforming sequences where the camera sort of shifts on the side and then, you know, the characters are running along. There are boss battles, like where, for example, when Mario has to fight Donkey Kong at some point. And then there's a whole kart racing sequence as well, on the Rainbow Road, mind you. So, like, those sequences are obviously pulled directly from the game. And there's a bunch of others which I won't spoil, but they're the ones that we've seen from trailers. These are fantastic, and I just love seeing these moments that we have played in video games rendered in this way, in a way that we have never seen them before. Like, we've never seen Mario Kart Racing look like this. And I just really enjoyed seeing that. And I will say as well, like, I won't lie, I got a little emotional at one time, because I was like, man, I remember when I was 4 years old. I got a NES when I was 4 years old. Mario was the very first game I ever played in my entire life. That was it, right? And I remember sitting on the floor, you know, 4 years old doing that. And now to see that same sort of gameplay experience rendered in this way on the big screen with all this fanfare attached to it, and knowing that so many other people get to see it in that way, like, I don't know, that just got me. And I was like, wow, man, that's where I started. Doing exactly the shit that Mario is doing on screen there now. I was doing that when I was 4 years old, sitting on the floor, you know? So that was nice. I liked that part of it a lot. I really did not get tired of those sequences. And I thought they were brilliant. These sequences are a double-edged sword, though. One criticism that's come through for the film a lot is the idea that this is less a film and more like watching someone play a version of Mario. I read this BBC review, and I'll read they basically say, oh, it's all fine at the beginning when he's in Brooklyn, but then, and this is the quote, the trouble starts when Mario is suddenly surrounded by floating bricks, giant gold coins, power-up cubes, and burbling electronic sound effects, which only makes sense in the context of a video game, end quote. What? It's like, dude, it's a Mario movie. What the fuck would you want in a Mario movie if not those things? I don't understand, right? I just like, but he's not the only person that said this sort of stuff. Other people have been saying the idea that this like takes parts of the Mario experience and puts it on screen is like bad, and I'm like, I don't understand. It's crazy. It's like, it is a Mario movie, okay? There are going to be sequences where he runs along and jumps on things and that he eats mushrooms and gets bigger. Like, of course that is going to happen. And I think that's the anchor for this film, by the way. Like, the anchor of this film is not, how do we evolve Mario so that he becomes cinema? The anchor is, how do we make cinema goers feel what it's like to play a Mario movie? That is what they are trying to do here. And I think that works. They absolutely nail that. You know, that with the sequences, with the characters they've got, with the voice cast they've got, they really do give you the feeling of what it's like to play a Mario game. That has been translated perfectly, I think. So if you were looking for like a different take on Mario, where he's like an alcoholic or like a problem gambler or something, and he's in deep with the wrong people, and the, you know, Bowser is actually some mafia boss or some shit. No, okay, that's not what you're gonna get. You are going to get a red plumber running around and jumping on Goombas and all this sort of shit, okay? That's what you're gonna get, and I love that. And I think, like, if you're a fan of Mario and the games and whatever, I think there's zero chance that you don't enjoy this. If you're like a casual gamer, you know, like passing knowledge of Mario, and that's about it, I still think you'll enjoy it. I still think there's enough fun and spectacle here and comedy to keep things going and to keep you invested. But if you are going in looking for cinema with a capital C, or you're not open to a video game experience as it might exist in a cinematic form, then yeah, like, you're not gonna like this, because it's not what it's not trying to do anything other than that, you know? Personally, I feel like Nintendo and the Hollywood types, they really nailed this. I think that it's a great template for what Nintendo could do in the future with other films. I would love to see Luigi's Mansion film. Please make that happen. But I'm sure we're going to see a Mario 2 in the future as well, and I'm definitely up for that. I think this could have gone really bad, right? Absolutely. But I just think that it didn't. I just think it's a great, fun film, and I laughed and I felt moved by it, and I just loved watching that spectacle unfold. And I think, yeah, good job Nintendo. So I recommend it. I think you'll have a great time. It's good for kids too, but like maybe ages 5 and up, because some parts of it can be a bit scary. Yeah, I hope you check it out. I hope you have a good time. Cool. First movie review on the channel. Done. As I mentioned earlier, Squarespace have generously offered to sponsor this channel for 2023. This is the 4th year running that I've had their support, and I'm hugely appreciative because it's sponsors like that that help me keep the lights on around here, employing Austin, and giving me the confidence to cover games however I want to cover them without being beholden to game publishers or whatever. I get to be truly independent thanks to the likes of Squarespace, and that's a benefit that is never lost on me. If you're unfamiliar with Squarespace, they build websites, or more specifically, they provide a platform that allows you to build your own website really easily. Back in the day, you had to pay some company thousands of dollars to build, host, and maintain your website, but those days are long past. Now, using Squarespace's intuitive tools, you can set up a professional-looking website in minutes, adding new content to it with ease and opening up a world of opportunity. Because a website is like the shop front of the 21st century. If you want to change careers, start a new business, turn your hobby into a vocation, or just be creative, then a website is really helpful, and there's no better place to build a website than with Squarespace. For 4 years running now, Squarespace have helped me turn my passion into a career. Maybe they can do the same for you. If you'd like to check it out, then visit squarespace.com, and if you want to get serious, visit squarespace.com/skillup to get 10% off your purchase of a domain name. Thanks Squarespace for sponsoring this channel for the 4th year running, and thanks to you for watching it.